So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for This Life, Sept of the Hearth's Fire in Duluth, Minnesota, where here we have a Charlotte, a wild Charlotte in her natural habitat, who is finally leaving the Ravens pack house. God bless Leaf and his patience over the last day, but Skyripper's not totally wrong. She has other things she needs to do, and she needs to set some kind of example by not giving up the ghost of life. So she's gonna follow through on at least one promise and be out, be about, and be comically both dodging galliards and looking for a galliard because, okay, fine, she's not dodging very well, but she is looking for the tail singer, and so she will perhaps snag someone when she gets a chance because, let's face it, she didn't even know where Reggie stayed really, so she will just snag the first available person to be like, hey, do you know where the tail singer is? I need to, yeah, that'd be cool.
Eventually make your way down to what looks to be where it's a different side of the lake, close to where you and Damon used to sneak off, but you see a figure sitting down, probably in the grass, a long kind of billowing cloak. Seems to be picking up bits of flowers off the ground.
Like picking live ones or retrieving fallen stuff.
Fallen stuff.
Oh, okay, whatever floats his boat, I guess. Um, it may at this point strike Charlotte that that is definitely not Reggie. So she'll be coming along, coming around the lake, you know, hands in pockets, usual dealy. And I mean, at some point, probably not terribly close. There will just be a moment once the figure kind of resolves into something a little clearer when she's close enough to make out any details, just to be like, "Huh, that is that is not who I thought it was." She will stand there for a hot second, feeling kind of stupid because she's not exactly out of sight. She's not close by, but not exactly out of sight as she kind of looks, and there's probably even very briefly a visible little cant aside of the head, not the usual tilt, but like the almost side eye glance of that. No, yes, maybe.
Eventually, the figure will turn and look over. He's tall, grey and black hair, very piercing eyes. You know what I mean? You ever see the way a crow looks at you sometimes?
That little head tilt either way. Like first, I'm gonna look at you with this eye. Then I'm gonna look at you with this eye.
He has these very piercing crow-like eyes. And you kind
Well,
of stand up to his full height. He's about 6'5".
oh,
He's a big, powerful build, and you can tell he's powerfully built.
it kind of decides her because she's come this far around. She can't pretend she was never here, really. So as she's regarded, she'll kind of lift a hand, like a casual kind of greeting gesture, and finally make her way closer, close enough to actually, begin polite conversation.
Don't you Fosterns have to kneel?
Do indeed, Raya. And yeah, as she gets into range before she even has a chance to speak, looks like she will be taking a knee. Very politely, but no complaint.
Hmm. By the judge of the canter of your tone, you walk over, and the way you're looking at me, don't think I was the person you're expecting to find.
You would not be wrong, Raya.
Take it you're looking for my previous vacancy.
Quickly glance over what his deed name was. I had thought I was coming out to find Debaser, Raya.
He is passed on to the homeland.
There's a bit of, like, a slight shift to the head. As if, listening closely, though she is not looking up at him, because avoiding eye contact is actually polite in this society. May I ask when, Rhea?
His body was found yesterday from the assault.
So that'll learn me to be a shut-in.
I guess it will. You feel the tap on your head. Like pop, pop, pop.
Is that pretty understandably the cue, or is it the pat, pat, you're so dumb?
Pat, pat, you're so dumb.
Yeah. Yep, she gets the dummy pat. But you are the new tail singer, Rhea?
Leans down so you can finally see his face. This curious little bird-like symptom.
He's got the nose for it. And yeah, she'll flick a glance up. Does not go for eye contact. But if he's going to bend down all the way down to her face, he obviously wants her to look at him.
Well, you're smart at least.
Well then, let me start over properly. I am Charlotte Sullivan, known to the nation as EMP. Hamid Philodox of the Glasswalkers, and Fostern, as I fix my overlay to the nation.
Oh, I know who you are. But I suppose if we're going to have to be proper, Oisin Donnelly, Adrian Fianna Galliard, known to the nation as the Crow's Eye.
Well, pleasure to meet you properly, Rhea.
I imagine it is. With the look shocked on your face, I imagine you're thinking 5 different ways from Sunday how the fuck you've after bollocks in this.
That is distinctly possible. There's even like a slight nod, like, you know what? Can't even be mad.
You get another pat in the head inclining how stupid you are.
She fucking takes it like a champ.
So, seems to walk back over and picks one of the plants, like, ooh, puts it in his jacket. What can I do for you?
I had meant to come bring a tale to the tail singer.
He sweeps back his cloak like,
Duh.
well then. Sits down in the grass, cross-legged. Regale me.
And she will. It's a bit tentative initially to see if she's going to get, a shit kicking for it, but goes to shift her posture, not rising, but kind of falling back into a sit.
He just watches you. But go on, hurry up, come on.
Yes, sir.
What, sir? What the fuck do you think this is? Military?
Well, sometimes, but fair enough.
Say it like you're saying it properly in church. Go on, young lady.
She just looks kind of bemused. Because, oh god, he got really animated really fast. It was... And actually, how long ago was it that she got caught out with Felix at the nest? Like a week before? Or...
Week before.
Okay. Round about a week ago, Rhea, I was...
Round about a week ago.
A week ago, Rhea. A weekend, tallies for a second. Roughly 10 hours ago, Rhea.
Oh, would you look at...
I was out in the city for the night with a friend and looking to check in on one of the kinfolk who had been somewhat despondent. Felix Trimbuson. And ugh. There's a little eye widening as he makes the excited noises. She's just not ready for it. It's such...
Scoots a bit forward in your face and everything.
Oh, right. She will look artistically off to the side, aka
So
uncomfortably.
Pulls her back by with the ball of his thumb, so her chin just turns to face him again. So, who's your friend? You're leaving out details here. Come on, pick it up a bit.
Maria Lynch Krause.
Ah, the little lass. Wonderful. This should be good.
It was certainly interesting.
Come on. Keep me interested.
We decided to have a night out on the town, Raya, and went to the Kinfolk Bar. She will drop the name of the bar. I don't think we've ever actually... I can't remember if we've given it a name or not. So yeah, she'll drop the appropriate name here for the Kinfolk Bar.
A night out, was it? Oh, did you get drunk, did you?
Appreciably.
Did you get laid?
I did not.
Well, that's no fun.
I was, for all intents and purposes, honorably mated at the time.
Oh, sucks.
Does make it slightly less interesting. I did, however, get to play wingman as an apology to my friend for being less available.
Did you get her laid?
Oh, yes.
Pat you on the head like as if you did a good thing.
Oh, yeah. That happened. I did. Why not? We'll do the whole thing. I've already embarrassed myself once so far today. So, and she kind of claps the hands together and gives him a bit of a rub. I may have made something of a misstep in my wingmanning and had to resolve some confusion.
I can't imagine why you do such a thing. You seem like such an in-control person.
You know, you'd think that, wouldn't you? But no. I may or may not have targeted a visiting crew I wasn't familiar with my wingmanning, and had to resolve that violently, as is the appropriate getaway.
The cackling crow laughter that comes from it's like he echoes. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't reach that level of octane.
She just kind of licks her teeth like, yeah, that was me. That happened.
Oh, you gobshite.
Well,
come on, keep going.
So I did eventually, as Maria made off with her ill-gotten gains, did in fact find Felix in the bar. Had a bit of a talk with him about how he'd been away from Sept, away from his friends, away from his family, and found out that he had been staying in the city, which was patently a very unsafe place, with the recent battle as example of just how unsafe. And so, as he said, he had no intention of returning to Sept. I decided to stay the night out to make sure he was, in fact, safe. And so he took me to another of the bars he'd been frequenting, and eventually showed me where he'd been staying. Little storage room, mattress on the floor. Not exactly the most appealing place I've ever been. But did settle down. He did sleep briefly. We stayed there after the bar closed, after everyone had left, and I began hearing noises in the building. Glanced over, he was bolt awake, hearing the same things. And with the spiral presence being a known issue, I did at least have the forethought to contact the Striders, as they are the closest to the city and were lately patrolling that area of the city because of said spiral presence.
He suddenly pulls you up.
But
like he spries up to his feet. And you get pulled up as well.
Okay. She is pulled up to her feet.
Come on, you're moving too slow. It's often better to tell a tale when you're moving. Come on. He starts spinning her around with him.
Like spinning in place?
No, it's like you're dancing.
She doesn't know what the fuck to do with her hands right now. This is the most absurd thing that has potentially ever happened to her.
Come on, pick it up.
All right, so absolutely were spirals patrolling the building. Came past the room. paused to take a breath at it, but he'd had the foresight to
Come
burn
on,
out.
use your language, Sullivan. Jesus.
I'm not a born storyteller, Raya.
Ah, for the love of... I might be fucking... Jesus. Rubs the back of his head. All right, stay right there. Sweeps the cloak over his shoulders.
Ugh.
And then reach into his pouch, take out this spry little plant and kind of crush it into his hand, and then take out what looks to be a flask and sprinkle it in. Here, drink this. But don't look at me open mouth. Drink it.
Yeah, there's the bemused stare for about half a second before he's urging her on, and yeah, she complies, because that is what you do when someone who outranks you tell you to do a thing, even though it looks hella sus.
You take a big, deep drink. It smells of berries, tastes of berries. It's very sweet. But oh boy, whew, you feel suddenly a lot more awake, a lot more energetic, and a lot more spry.
Feels like she has fucking had roughly, what, 5 energy drinks at once?
Yep.
Holy
come on.
Shit. Okay. Yeah.
Descriptive, go. Come on, move.
The building was extremely dark. It was bits of sound, creaks on the stairs, a clattering of bottles on the first floor, and eventually heavier footsteps approaching the door. And Felix seemed to be familiar with this, to almost expect it. The next time I looked over, I saw a glint of light off of a gun that he'd had on him, or had nearby. And this thing approached very slowly, very eerily slowly, pausing at the door. Now, it was locked, and by the time it got there, I'd crept over to be leaning against it, to be close enough to respond, be between it and the kinfolk even. But it just paused there. And I looked away to Felix. He was already alongside me. I looked back to the door, and there was a mist being breathed through the cracks. I could hear it panting. And as the stuff swept out, I had the sense to hold my breath, but clearly Felix had been there. As this thing had come past before, he slammed a hand across my face to make sure, covering my nose, covering my mouth, covering his own. And so, I'm trying to look for the phrase. What is it? Oh, fuck. I've used it a couple times already out of character and I'm dying. We tried to stick it out. There was no reason for it to believe we were in there. There was nothing but the smell of smoke in the room. And it seemed to have worked. There was some noises on the door, as if it was brushing something across the panels, but in the end, the sound faded. It moved away. So we began to speak amongst ourselves, planning to leave, speaking to the Striders as they moved. And of a sudden, it came back around again, taking interest again. Felix let me know that they never checked twice. Not in the past, not before. So, as it cleared away again, we made a break for it. Kind of a proper mad dash. I moved out into the hall, took war form, because it was a foregone conclusion that there was going to be a threat there. And as Felix made for the ladder, I turned to look around, and there was not even initially the one that I'd heard. There were these things, one at the end of the hall, one looming out of a doorway, very much like a Krynos guru. Very similar to the things, in fact, probably the exact same kind of things that we fought in the battle, but ganglier and misshapen, kind of like what you'd expect of maybe a very scrawny, very poorly formed Metis. They were wrong. Very wrong.
I mean, all Metis are the worm anyway, so shrugs.
She just keeps going. Let's face it, honestly, even if she would normally be tempted, now there's too much shit in her system right now. All the same, saw them. I had Felix make a dash for the ladder, try to get up onto the roof of the building, see if we could get out that way. There was no getting down some stairs, down some halls, through a building. It was just the most sensible way to go. And so as I stood there and bought time, the last came up the staircase, kind of snub-nosed spiral, pitch black. It was hard to pick him out in the dark, but he was still breathing that mist. In the end, I meant to stand between them. The floor was beginning to creak, the boards were starting to give, but Felix tripped up, going for the ladder. So instead of standing and fighting, I turned, snagged him by the back of his shirt, and had to take something of a jump to pitch him onto the roof, pitch him up at the top of the ladder. Now, the problem is that as I did this, the pressure of me and Krynos, the weight, the force was too much for the floor. It gave. At least one of those monsters tumbled through. And while I did pitch Felix up onto the roof, I missed my own catch for the ladder. I even reverted to breed form, thinking if I was light enough, I would be able to hold my own weight. The ladder would hold up my own weight. But I didn't make the catch. Felix, though, managed to get himself right fast enough to snag me, to catch my hand as I was about to pitch through a broken floor and into a veritable swarm of those things. There were so many. There were a proper legion just swarming. There's no other description of how they were moving. But he did catch my hand and went to pull me up. But the spiral, the one with the snub nose, the one that was darker, I don't know what he threw, what he shot, but it peppered both of us. And one of my arms pulled in tight to my body. I didn't have anything in me to pull me up. So he had to pull me out of there. Naturally, buck ass naked, because when you're going out in your going out clothes, they're not necessarily dedicated, but he still pulled me out. And for the rest of the flight, he had to actually carry me across the roofs, had to jump down with me on his back. He did hand me the gun. I did take a pot shot. He actually had taken several shots when he hit the floor. But he composed himself better than some of the GRU I've tried to work with, even. And I could have gotten him out. And I could have died honorably. But he still pulled me out and carried me out. While the other pack served as a distraction, pulled some of the monsters, got their attention so that only one or two chased us. Even with that spiral on our heels, he jumped off of a second-story roof. I heard his leg give when he hit the ground, still got me and himself to a bike and got us the hell out of Dodge.
It's a very brave young fella.
It's a damn good performance for Kinfolk Raya.
Oh, it is. It's better than most of the glades I've seen. Some of them shit themselves.
The temptation was real, Raya.
I can imagine. You look like the type.
That's me. Bravest
Pats her on
of
the
the
head.
brave, boldest of the bold.
So, you're coming to tell me this. I suppose you want some recognition for him.
For him, yes. I was doing my job, but that was above and beyond for him. In the end,
Hold-
he told me
he-
that
He holds up his hand.
he goes quiet.
I know what you're doing. That's fine. Look, my question to you. Because so far you're entertaining me, mainly because you're ditzy. I like ditzy.
There is kind of a comical expression, like it's the but hey.
Is he your claimed kinfolk then?
No, Raya. I currently have no claimed kinfolk.
Okay. What's his name? Trimmonson?
Yes, Raya?
Why isn't his guru telling me this tale?
She was not there and could hardly tell the story.
True. You have a good point. But how come she's not here with you?
I admit I decided to take initiative myself.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even told her the full story yet. Haven't really told anyone except in my report. And even then, it's kind of bereft of detail unless it's tactical detail.
All right then. See. And this other Trimmonson girl, I believe her name is Juno. She's the alpha of your pack.
She is.
You don't tell your alpha what you're doing.
She hasn't asked for complete oversight over my every action, Raya.
It's unusual. Most of the Fenrir are a bit strict that way, but kids these days.
There's kind of a shrug, like, yeah, kids these days.
All right. It's very commendable for a kinfolk. Definitely something that should be held to a standard. Definitely, I'll think of something. I thank you for bringing me this.
For sure.
Rub this bits of his stubble.
I'm not gonna lie, she's probably she's been on a lot of energy drinks, so there's probably not outright jittering, but there's going to be a certain sharpness to her emotions. Like, yes, this exact emotion, no more, no less. Oh my god, I'm going to explode.
Like I said, I like Ditzy. But I'll think of a good tale for this young fella to have a bit of something for himself.
Much appreciated, Raya.
Ah, well, sure, we have to do the bit, and the kinfolk are just as important as we are.
So,
After all, puts both hands on her shoulders, and it's his eyes, man. They're so fucking intense looking.
ugh.
After all, sure, we may go out and scream and bloody murder. They're the ones who clean us up afterwards. And for one to step up like us, we've been the example for him, and let him be the example for others.
There's a nod of agreement. An awkward nod because he's staring at her, and that is always kind of weird in this society. That direct eye to eye is. Ugh.
Well, now, go on, fuck off. Keep me eye on you. Go on.
Yep. She was gonna say a polite something, but no, she fucks right off. She in fact bolts. She's got a lot of energy now. Yeah, she just takes off like, ugh.
So where you going?
Shit.
Heading home.
Yes. Has Maria been back around?
She's been around, yeah. You can see she was around for a bit. You assume she's home.
All right, let me see what all else I said I needed to do. Oh, fuck. Ugh. She will. She will flip back towards the house. She will probably almost involuntarily be kind of looking off in the direction of, I guess it's the public housing where the cups are kept. So she'll come around and come in the other door, even if it means she can kind of shoot a glance off that way to see what's going on over there.
You can just see a bit of hustle and bustle. And I mean, you probably see Cora pitter-pottering around the place with big bush. You just see the big bushy hair, you know? It's a dead giveaway. Around. You can see Cassie wandering around there as well into the kitchen.
Oh, that's something.
sipping tea.
Wait.
Yep,
Oh.
in the kitchen.
Wait. She didn't even at her own pack house. She's back at like the. Well, actually, which would he be in? Because honestly, I didn't. I guess I did say it would be the Ravens pack house because she's looking for Maria.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she comes in through the back, the door closer to the kitchen, and as she turns around to look back inside, kind of goes, "Oh, afternoon, Raya."
Hello. Let me in.
Sorry, who?
Your friend let me in.
Oh,
She has gone out for a walk.
so what could I do for you, Raya?
Sit down.
She sits the fuck down.
You just pour some tea for her.
Doughboy, more mystery tea.
That's nice. Look,
Sorry, that's out of character. More mystery tea. She'll probably be like
Upstairs.
fiddling her fingers on one knee, just because, again, abundance of energy. But yeah, she will politely accept the tea.
It has come to my attention that you are a member of a pack. Now, I knew this long before your Alpha's howl of your acceptance. In fact, I had not done anything with it out of mere curiosity to see would you tell me. You have not.
No, Raya, I haven't told much of anyone.
I am not much of anyone. I understand that we have a certain relationship.
One that I very much appreciate, Raya. I just thought it was a business relationship?
You join a pack is business.
Huh.
It is more the fact that you did not tell me what you are doing, which means that you're not telling me everything.
I am telling you everything that I earnestly believe is pertinent, Raya.
And who said you had an opinion to believe? Did I give you permission to believe?
No, Raya.
No. But that is alright. Everyone gets one chance with me.
For what it's worth, high energy aside, she looks pretty fucking sober right now.
Oh yeah, the thing only lasted about 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what a time to have a crash from it. All the same, it's very sober. Thank you, Raya.
Reach out and take his little cold hands in hers, very casually.
She is not gonna fucking stop him. Her
Turn
hand
the
is
palm.
retrieved.
Turn the palm over. Examine it. He blows 2 levels of rage, and Charlotte, that knife that was literally comes out of his pocket, just boom, straight to the palm.
She squeals.
He spends the second rage action twisting it, so I'm going to say you take a total of 4 lethal.
Oh yeah. Nope, there is nothing even remotely graceful or controlled about her response. She gives an initial squeal and then probably a much heartier scream of pain. And actually kind of, I mean, she had her arm extended, but she is grasping the edge of the table kind of bowled over, probably face on it at this point.
Like I said, everyone gets one chance with me.
Very weak little nod. She is not stopping, like, making noise. There's still, like, kind of a whimper to it. She is, like, gasping for air, trying to manage the sudden explosion of pain.
From now on, every detail you do is given in your report. To me and only to me.
It's another very small nod.
You are under my employment. Not someone I consider an ally. There is a very clear distinction. This is a lesson of what that distinction lies.
And yeah, amidst those sad little pained noises, it's just a very tense, like, oh, yes, yes, Raya.
But you have been doing good work. So, this is just a mild reminder.
Another kind of frantic little nod.
Your decision regarding the leadership of the raids is commendable. And I trust you will be continuously making sure decisions like this will go over well.
Bort just frantic nodding.
You will have a meeting soon with the members of the gallows. It is time to take initiative. They will explain further.
Yep, yeah.
If I was you, I would make sure this place is thoroughly clean. I removed some of the things already here for you.
What?
Pats her on the shoulder, eyes and ears.
Yeah, yes, Raya. Oh.
Now, he just stands up very coldly. Again, he hasn't shown any form of fucking emotion throughout this whole thing. Not even when he was angry. Not even when he put that knife to your hand. Cold. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now, this is where shit gets interesting. He's an Athro, unfortunately, so he has a fucking high dice pool for this.
I mean, if it's willpower based, I'm fucked.
Oh, this is... That's a lot of successes, more than you have willpower. He leans down and whispers in your ear, but just remember. Just remember that I made your friend leave her own territory to enforce my message. Remember the chance I gave you. And know that I look on you with very serious and interested eyes. Should you fail me, it would be a shame to lose such a valuable guru.
I'm assuming whatever you rolled was intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look over and see how bad this is.
I'm gonna put this in perspective. There's 3 10s and he has a specialty.
Yeah.
And he has the bruiser Barrett, so he's -1 diff.
You and 11 successes are apparently just a thing lately. She just starts
Feel free to take a rage from fear.
Oh, I will. I will absolutely take a rage from fear. The downside is I'm pretty sure it means I have to roll.
Mm-hmm. You can spend willpower.
Oh, my 1 willpower?
Okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she is not in any fucking condition for this shit right now. On the bright side. Oh, wait, on the downside. I'm pretty sure. Click the 25th. Yeah, it's like the day just before. Awesome. So diff is what, 4, I think? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It's a very small pool. It's fine. It's not fine. It is fine. It's barely fine.
You're terrified.
Oh yeah, she is like damn near a very literal pants shittingly terrified. Honestly, I'm assuming that thing is right through the center of her hand. Like,
Yep.
she probably actually like it goes from pained and pitiful to just scared and pitiful. She kind of like ducks and leans a bit away from him. It's just outright cowering. Those kind of sad pain noises get a lot more piteous, a little shriller. She just cringes. You even see her like start to kind of, she almost tries to pull back, and the tiniest shift of that hand is agonizing. So it doesn't pan out, but it's pitiful.
You just calmly fix his suit collar and just walk out.
And she will probably not get her proper thinking brain on again until he is fully out of the building and she has heard him move away. At which point she might finally. What do you spend for this? Please don't let it be willpower. It is willpower. Awesome. Nope, she doesn't activate resist pain. She is stuck for the moment with her hand nailed by a knife to the table. She will eventually kind of work up the gumption to reach over and kind of see if she can get this thing out of the wreck of her hand. Like, kind of give it a little bit of a touch, like just to see if she can get any movement out of it at all.
It's really sore.
Hmm?
I imagine that's really sore. Like,
It is a lot worse than sore. It's gonna hurt. It's more that, like, can she even budge the knife, or is this some giant thing driven completely through the table?
high or low.
I will go with the traditional high.
Not through the table. It's just your hand.
Oh. Yeah, she has to like go through kind of a really sad process of kind of hyping herself up, holding her breath, and tugging it out, probably just flicking it off to the side. She doesn't give a fuck. She just wants it out of her hand.
Yep, that's an incredibly painful process. I'm not going to make it take damage. It's just, oh god.
There's another like heinous yelping noise, and she yanks her hand back to her and just like cradles it to her chest. Like, man, the tears. This is too much shit for her right now. Just huddles in the chair that she's in. Oh, don't switch back. Oh, man. What is my life?
Comes running in. The back door. He opens the back door and sticks his head in.
Just sees her huddled in the chair, like curled up in a tiny ball with the I mean, he can't see the wrecked hand or anything. And he's not Gru. He's not going to smell blood necessarily. Though she did just kind of pitch a bloody knife off to the side. She didn't give a shit.
And you were yelling and screaming.
And she's making the most horrible, like, this is the ugly cry.
Come on. Hey. Immediately runs over.
Oh, good. Oh, when he does finally come around the chair, she is like cradling a wrecked hand.
Oh, fuck, okay. Come on. Puts his arm around her and is quickly leading her out of the house.
Yeah, she moves. She just doesn't have anything left in her to try to reason a better option. She just is kind of gathered up and guided, nudged.
You find yourself cutting through some of the... You don't go towards his tent. You find yourself cutting through one of the side parts of the forest. You recognize that's Lena's cabin. But Lena's not there. She's with Damon. As you suddenly climb up the stairs, you come to that room that you and Felix were in.
She goes with it. She doesn't have anything left in her. She's huddled. She's probably been trying to kind of will down the worst of the horrible, like, sobbing, like, choking that she's doing, but here's hoping not everyone saw her. But yeah, she just gets huddled in.
He sits you down on the bed. You're gone. He's gone literally about 20 seconds before he's up with the first aid kit. Kneeling down in front of you, cleaning the wound and dabbing at it and wrapping your arm and your wrist, wrapping your hand essentially.
It's definitely something. Eventually she'll find the sense to shift up, maybe, but for the moment that this does the job. To be fair, I want to say there's a good number of vessels in the hand, so it's bleeding like profusely.
Mm-hmm.
She is probably also covered in her own blood. Awesome. But yeah, don't she lets him. She just lets him take the hand. She makes more kind of strangled noises, especially when he's treating it and working around the wound itself.
Hey, you're okay.
Starts just rapidly shaking her head.
It's all right. See? She wraps it and ties it, Maybe that's out a bit of a yelp, but it's firm.
Yeah, there's another yipe of pain.
When you calm down, you're going to heal yourself. Everything's okay. Kind of just rubbing her shoulder.
She just collapses into him. Because nothing is okay.
He just wraps his arm around you, just rocks you slowly.
No, she like hides in his shirt practically. Like that was bad. That was 11 successes of I will fucking kill you.
Hey, Charlotte, look at me. It's all right. You're safe now. You're with me.
She finally like weakly nods because it'll make him happy. It's easy to tell she's still really badly shaken, but there's just kind of a weak nod. Like, yeah, there's that.
He just gives her a frown. I'm getting my own place, so you can stay there. That's it. I made up my mind.
What?
I'm gonna get my own place in the city, so you can stay there and away from this.
Is that really a good idea?
Don't care.
Could just be worse.
Or could be great. Out in the suburbs.
I mean, that's the safe zone, technically.
How are you going to afford that?
I have money. I have a decent amount of money, actually. I say, smiling.
I believe you, but just going out and buying a place?
Yeah. I used to work in fairly untoward activities, smuggling, cigarette smuggling, alcohol smuggling. I actually made a decent bit of cash. You know,
Oh, the whole gang thing.
yep. But I was smart and I've saved my money.
You know, I've got a bunch of money. We were gonna get a place. It didn't seem safe.
That's why we stay in the safe zone in the suburbs. Don't go into the city proper. Stay in the suburb edge. So Striders make their protectorate.
Here's some weak nodding, like, you know what, fine, that actually, sure, that makes sense. That makes enough sense that I want to go with it because it sounds nice.
I can just sign up my name. Nobody's gonna gossip. Boom.
Oh, she's finally starting to like try to rub her face clean, like the whole sleeve action.
What I'll do is I'll get a few extra pairs of Lennon's clothes, and she's not gonna be home for hours, so you can grab a shower as well.
There's again like just kind of compliant nodding. She just doesn't seem to have a lot of personal initiative at the moment, so it's just like, yeah, that seems fine.
But the main thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stay here till you feel safe again.
He's a really tall ask right now.
I mean, I'm asking straight away. We're just gonna. That means we have to lie in the bed, and you just cry your eyes out for a good number of hours. Well, I've got the sad music ready.
The sad music. Oh god. Okay. Just like looking at her hand, like bandage and all, just like bemused, like just doesn't know what to do with it even.
He puts the hand on his own.
I'm pretty sure it's gnarled up enough that she can't like rip his hand or anything like that, so
See? Right here.
it's more just complacent nodding.
So I want you to lie down and close your eyes.
She looks at him for a second, processes, and just kind of starts leaning down.
He opens up the blankets, lets you crawl in, basically wraps you up, gets in, and just essentially holds on to you, humming softly.
Yeah, she just hides in his chest, honestly. Like once he, especially if he's laying down with her, she just plasters into him.
Plus his pure breed, Jesus Christ. So he's gonna make this roll. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As he starts singing to you softly, very calmingly.
Yeah. And again, I mean, she's willpower 1, so she's pretty easy to influence. So it does start working, actually, at a pretty good pace. Like, it's one of those things where there's a tangible effect from the get go. Probably that the shaking kind of stops. Like, she's still latched on, but
And you get the impression it's very much designed for you to like sleep, essentially.
I mean, that is probably what'll happen. She is physically compromised, emotionally compromised. She's a lot of kinds of compromised. So yeah, Felix finally succeeds in technically, well, not even sleeping with, but in actually spending that kind of time with her, like in that relaxed state properly. Yeah, she just curls into him, and finally, the shaking stops. The breathing goes to a more sedate level, and finally will even level out to the longer, quieter breaths of just sleep.
And I think there is where our scene will end.
I think so.